You ever negotiated with your country's enemies in the dead of night?
That's a great question.
Well, I have. I'll tell you that story in a minute.
Okay.
My name's John Graham.
He's back!
I'm a badass granddad you didn't know you had. I'm here to tell you more stories from my adventures and offer some tips on taking risks and living a life with meaning, courage, and passion. Anyway, in my time in the war in Vietnam, I was stationed in Hue, a small city just 50 miles south of the line that then separated North Vietnam from the south, so a very dangerous place to be. A good part of my job in Hue was as a political officer, which meant trying to keep tabs on the Viet Cong underground, that is to say, the network of spies the Viet Cong operated in Hue and throughout South Vietnam. Anyway, for their own purposes, the Viet Cong in mid-1971 asked to meet with me personally, and I agreed to do that, and I convinced my interpreter Kin to come with me, although the poor man was scared to death. So about midnight, we drive outside of Hue, 5-6 miles, to a pagoda, and the monk shows us our room and bring in some tea, and a few minutes later, 2 or 3 black pajama-clad figures come into the room as well. I think something really important might be happening, but no. They just give us a standard party line. The U.S. should get the hell out of South Vietnam, which, of course, I already knew. Anyway, after about 20 minutes, the meeting breaks up, and Kim and I drive safely back to Hue. Now, as you probably know from my other episodes, I think that living a life without taking a risk is a life that's boring and ultimately inconsequential. Risk-taking is an essential part of life, but if you're going to take risks, for God's sake, take risks that are smart ones and not stupid ones. Now, smart ones entail a lot of things, but perhaps most of all, it means deciding whether or not to take the risks at all. And that starts by taking a look at the size of the benefits if the risk does pay off, and what are the odds of those benefits coming to you. Now, in my case in Vietnam, the benefits could have been huge because the Viet Cong could have been wanting to use me as a conduit for the peace talks then taking place in Paris between the U.S. and North Vietnam. Not likely that was going to happen. The second thing in looking at a risk is to take a look at the downsides. If the risk doesn't pay off, and what are the odds of that happening? Well, in Vietnam, the downside would have been me getting killed out there in the jungle, but that wasn't going to happen either because they could have shot me in the streets of Hue anytime they wanted to. Anyway, my point to you is this: if you're faced with a really difficult, sensitive risk, before you do anything, take a look at what the size of the benefits will be if you succeed and what the odds of that success might be, and then take a look at the downsides if the risk fails and what the odds of that failure might be before you take any move at all. I guarantee you, you do this and you'll be glad that you did.